What is going on, guys? Smooth Racing here, back with a brand new video, and today we've got F1 2015 drivers predictions. We're looking into the future today of Formula 1. We're looking 1 year ahead, so just bearing in mind this is April 2014, so none of these drivers have actually been signed officially. A few of them do have contracts, but we know that those don't really always turn out to withstand for the number of years it says on the contract. So let's get on with this then, and we'll start off with the 2013 World Champions, and that's Red Bull, and I think they're going to go with Vettel and Ricciardo once again. They're going to retain those drivers. I can't see any of them leaving, and then I can't see any reason why Red Bull would want to sack either one of them. Vettel, a 4-time World Champion, and then Ricciardo has shown some really good pace in the opening 4 races, and I think that'll carry on for the rest of the season, and I think he'll really challenge Vettel in that intra-team battle, and maybe even beat him. We'll have to see. Moving on to Mercedes, likewise for Red Bull, they'll keep their driver lineup from Rosberg and Hamilton. That's a winning formula that Mercedes will want to be keeping. I doubt they'll sack Rosberg if he doesn't quite match up to Hamilton, because I think Hamilton's one of the best drivers on the grid, and I think Rosberg produces some very good performances where I think he's kind of an opposite to Hamilton, and I think that works really well, and definitely a very winning, very strong partnership Mercedes have. I think there's no reason why they want to change that. So it's Rosberg and Hamilton for Mercedes for 2015. Ferrari brings the first changes to my lineup, and I've put down Nico Hülkenberg and Kimi Räikkönen. This might come a bit of a shock that I put Räikkönen still in there, but I think he'll battle through his problems, and even maybe if he's still not up to the pace of Fernando, I think he'll still be there for next year. I think he'll improve enough, and the money that he'll get, I think it will just motivate him to stay for 1 more year, and then I think he'll retire at the end of 2015. Nico Hülkenberg, we all know how impressive he is, and I think Ferrari, it's too long for them to ignore the talent that Nico Hülkenberg has, so I think they'll sign him up alongside Räikkönen, and then Alonso will be left by his own accord. Ferrari will offer him a contract, Alonso will reject him and join a different team, which comes on to my next team, which is McLaren. I think Alonso will join McLaren for the Honda engines in 2015. He doesn't get on well with Rob Dennis, and the McLaren might not be at the moment the best car, but that Honda power could be very good, and a very good partnership, and then maybe they can return to the glory days of the 1980s or late 1980s. They had such a strong partnership, and that's definitely what Alonso will be hoping for. He'll be banking on that, and then he's going to be partnered by Kevin Magnussen, who I think will do a good enough effort. I don't think he'll probably be sort of level with Button throughout the season. I think Button will tail off towards the end of the year, and I think Button will retire. He's had a lot of personal problems this year, and I think that being one major factor into him retiring. And I think McLaren do need some new person there. I think Button sort of got to the end of his lifespan now as a Formula 1 driver. I think he'll retire, and then McLaren won't be too keen to retain him in the nicest possible way. So I think it'll be Kevin Magnussen and Fernando Alonso at McLaren for 2015. Lotus have just gone with Grosjean and Maldonado. Grosjean, a great driver, but not a good enough driver to get a seat anywhere higher up the grid. And then Maldonado brings in a lot of money. That's pretty simple. He has got a bit of pace. He's actually got a lot of pace, actually. He's one of the fastest drivers on the grid on his day, but those days seem to be extremely rare now. But yeah, Grosjean and Maldonado for Lotus. Force India put Perez and Di Resta. Perez, definitely good enough, I think, for another year. He's kind of a perfect midfield driver, getting some good erratic performances, some one-off, like we saw in Bahrain where he got a podium. I don't think they'll get back Di Resta after a year out of the sport, much like they did with 2012, where Di Resta has taken out a gap year and is coming back to Force India, which I think he definitely suits. We've seen him. I think he's starting in he went with Force India for 3 years, and I think a 4th could be on the cards in 2015. It'd be great to see the Scot return to Formula 1, especially with Force India. Sauber have gone with Adrian Sutil and Guido van der Garde. Sutil brings in quite a bit of money, and I think he's definitely a better driver than Gutierrez. I think Gutierrez has no pace whatsoever. His racecraft has improved. I think he was, did have quite a lot of crashes in early 2013. That then improved. He stopped the crashes, but he's still very far off the pace. Sauber should have sacked him for 2014, I think. But I think, Guido van der Garde is a better driver than Gutierrez, and then Guido van der Garde should get that seat, let's hope, but money could be an issue. I think Gutierrez will take a step back and become the reserve driver. Williams, I've gone with Bottas and Massa. Can't see that lineup changing. I think Massa still wants to carry on, and I think the Williams team will retain both their drivers. Bottas has the potential to be a future world champion, so it's a no-brainer for Williams to keep him. Toro Rosso, I've gone with Fiat and Sainz. I think sadly Da Costa won't get the Toro Rosso seat when Verne leaves, which I think he will for 2015. I've gone with Carlos Sainz in Fiat. Fiat definitely shown more than enough pace to maintain his seat and even possibly move further up the Red Bull ladder in a few years' time. Carlos Sainz, I think, will have a really good year. He's already started the year very well with a pole and a win so far in is it Formula Renault 3.5 it might be, or is it F3, I can't remember, but Sainz producing some really good performances already in junior categories, as he didn't have the best of campaigns in GP2 and GP3 last year. So I think Sainz and Fiat will be a good partnership for Toro Rosso of 2015. Caterham, I think they'll go with Kobayashi again, drop Ericsson and replace him with Freund. They really like Freund. I think they really see the potential in him. So I think they'll sack Ericsson, who, kind of counting there with Chilton. Chilton's actually usually beating him. So I think they'll go with Freund and Kobayashi. Marussia, I think they're going to maintain Chilton and Bianchi. Van possibly could get one of the seats, probably more likely Bianchi, seeing as Chilton has a big stake. Chilton's dad, has a big stake in Marussia. I think Chilton is a perfect back marker. He finishes every race. I'd probably rather have, if I was Marussia, I'd rather have Chilton than Bianchi, to be honest, all things considered. So I think I'll go with Chilton, Bianchi, maybe Van Dorn knocking on the door of one of those seats. And then Formula Haas, new confirmed team. I'm actually not going to go with Formula Razor, I think it's called. I'm not going to put them in because I don't think they'll make it. Haas might only just make it. I think he'll go with Alexander Rossi, the American, and Jean-Eric Vergne. He's already said he wants a young American driver and then an experienced driver, and those two seem to be the perfect fit. The Toro Rosso refugee Vergne, and then the young American driver Rossi. If not Rossi, then it'll probably go to the young Mario Andretti from America, or Conor Daly. I'd probably rather give it to Conor Daly. I think Rossi will get the seat with his slightly more F1 experience than Conor Daly. But there's been my predictions then, but we're really interested in hearing yours. So be sure to put your predictions for the F1 2015 grid. I know it's very early, but it's quite fun just to make these predictions, and then once they are all over, look back on them and see how probably wrong I was. But these are just some early ones. It'll be really interesting hearing yours. Put them down in the comments below. Happy to be racing, and I'll see you guys next time.